This is going to be a bit of a untraditional sort of moving series. I've been doing some very exciting thrifting recently. Hello everyone, welcome back to another vlog, to a very chaotic setting. It looks this way in the background because I'm moving. I've been thinking about making these videos for so long and imagining what it would feel like to be moving out, and it doesn't really feel very real. So this is very weird. I'm moving out of my parents' house and in with my boyfriend. We're so excited, but I have a lot to do because we're moving in 3 weeks. We found this place very unexpectedly. It just all kind of came about very serendipitously, and so yeah, it still hasn't really sunk in yet. I only just started packing maybe 2 days ago, but very lightly. I haven't done a lot yet, and it's kind of starting to sink in that I should really get going. So I'm going to keep packing a little bit more today, but I also wanted to show you a couple of the things that we've picked up because I've been doing some very exciting thrifting recently. I've already packed some of them, but the things that are sitting in front of me here, I will show you. I've been on the hunt for mixing bowls recently, but when I say recently, I mean like, oh Jesus, this is heavy. What is in here? Oh, more bowls. And when I say recently, I mean like the past 6 months maybe. Ever since I started making sourdough, I have been looking for more mixing bowls because I have one enamel dough bowl and that is it. And they're so hard to find at the thrift store, and they're so expensive if you get them new, or even antique mixing bowls, so expensive. So I was very excited when I found this one. It's this really fun black and white speckly pattern. This is kind of different for me, but I also really liked the thought of it. The enamel mixing bowl I have has a black rim on the top and it's white the rest of it, so I thought they would look really nice stacked together. And I also love how wide it is. Sometimes when I'm like mixing dry ingredients for baking, I really like quite a wide bowl. I took the price off, but I think this was $10, and it's made in Italy. And then I found this big honker. This thing is so heavy, I was actually getting exhausted carrying it around the thrift store. The only thing I don't like is that the inside is white. I wish the whole thing was blue, but you know what? That's fine. I think this was like $8 maybe. Again, I took the price tag off. Doesn't say where it's from, but I really like that it has this. That to me looks very reminiscent of like an antique mixing bowl, so I really love that. And now I have 3 mixing bowls, so I'm banning myself, because now that I've been finding good ones, I keep seeing them again after looking for months and months and months. I have another little stack of bowls here that I never showed you, but now that I'm moving with them, we have all sorts of kitchen content to talk about. So this little one is really cute. My boyfriend and I went to a garage sale. The woman whose house it was a potter, and so she also had a ton of her pieces for like $5 to $20 kind of thing. I think they were just sort of like seconds or things that she didn't want anymore. So I got this really pretty speckled bowl. I love this glaze and the kind of textured things going on the side. I really like. And then speaking of pottery, I have started doing pottery this past year. This was kind of a hobby that I took up while I wasn't really filming anything for a couple months, and so I haven't spoken about it. And I also didn't really love what I got back from this session, but now that I know I have a kitchen to put them in, I like them a lot more. So I have a couple bowls. I've packed a few of my pieces already, but again, these are the ones that are sitting in this room. This little bowl, I quite like the profile of that bowl. I have an antique, well, my mom has, now I don't have it, which I'm kind of sad because I have some favorite antique bowls of ours that I now have to part with. But so my mom has this one bowl that I kind of tried to base this shape off of because I love that bowl so much, and so this will be its replacement, I think. These two I also really love, and I actually got the inspiration from this bowl, from the texture on it. This one is a little bit bigger. The glaze went very crazy on the outside. I was horrible at glazing, and that day specifically I was just having a horrible time. There's a different glaze on the outside, and then this one, I think I did the same glaze on the outside. It's just a tiny bit smaller of a bowl. I don't know what's going on here, but you can see here I kind of tried to do a bit of an ombre, so this is the same glaze as the inside, and then that's a different one. I don't really know. Again, I wasn't having a great day when we glazed these, so I think they're fun. They're cute. Great size bowl, and there's only 2 of us, so we can each have one. We went to the thrift store the night that we found out that we got the place, so this was like the first actual thrift with this place in mind. And as soon as we walked in, I spotted this rug. And in our apartment, I'm gonna be showing you tons of pictures and things in the future and like talking design, but for now, picture it, we have a long hall going towards the bedroom. We were talking about how great it would be to have a runner there, but it's just so hard to find affordable rugs. So I was thinking at my local fabric store, you can buy like the stair runners by the yard in just like jute. And I was thinking, okay, if anything, I can just get that and like bind it off on the edges and we can use that. But then we found this wool rug. Oh my God, seeing this pattern in the camera makes me so happy. I love the colors so much. We're definitely gonna need to bring in a lot of warmth into this apartment because it's very beige. So I loved this as a jump off point, especially for like a random in-between space like a hall where there's not that much going on. I feel like this is about like 2.5 by like maybe 9 or 10 feet. It's pretty big. So I think that will take up a lot of visual space and I'm very excited about it. And the best part is it was $13. The next thing is kind of random, but something I've always wanted. My boyfriend found this on that same thrift store trip. It was $8 and it's just this little wooden painting step stool. I have just always thought these are adorable and I've always wanted one. I never see them. I love that it's already dirty. It already has paint all over it. Tyler is 6'4", so he won't have this problem. But in terms of like reaching up and into and over cupboards and things or cleaning, I think this will just be handy to have in the kitchen. And also a nice pop of wood because there's no wood in this entire apartment, which is very weird for me. As you can see, the house that I live in now has this woodwork, and so I don't own a lot of things that are wood because in the past 7 years that I've lived here, there's already been so much wood going on in every room that adding more takes it in definitely a certain direction. So I really only have one wood dresser, which is going to be too big to take with me, so it'll stay here. But other than that, like, we don't really have anything. And there's also not a ton of room for big pieces in this place. So I thought that was just a nice pop of something warm. And it can sit and have like a plant on it or something when we're not using it. What else? Oh yeah. We went to an appliance liquidation place. This is very boring, but we got a bullet. This is the last thrifted thing I think I have in front of me, and it was $6, and it's just this little blue pan made in Portugal. I love this. I think this is a really good size for 2 people. Kind of designated this closet in my work studio as like a moving closet like a couple months ago maybe, and I just started piling anything that I had that I've been kind of compiling from the thrift store for moving in here. And so I have a couple things I want to take inventory of and figure out if I want to pack them today. Okay, this is the moving closet. It's not really a lot going on, but I just have dishes and things all kind of stacked up here. And then this is the very exciting part. Do I have a light? I do. This is what I've turned into my little herb drying section, and we're gonna do something with these today. So this is gonna be a bit of a untraditional sort of moving series, I think, because most people in their preparing and packing vlog probably aren't taking inventory of a whole sort of herbal apothecary and bringing that with them, but we're doing that today. I have this crate that has a whole bunch of dried herbs, jars of dried herbs. I'm gonna check on all of these because I really, really, really hope that they all are good. They don't smell rancid or anything. I think they were dry enough when I put them in here, so fingers crossed. I'm gonna check on these, and then after that I'm gonna take the rest of the dried stuff out, put it in jars, top those up with whatever they need, and then tonight it's going down to -1 Celsius, and so I don't think we're gonna get frost, but I don't know why I don't think we're gonna get frost. I should prepare for frost. But a lot of things are gonna be just a little bit less than ideal starting tomorrow. So I'm gonna see what I have, how much I have of everything, and then we're gonna go outside and I'm going to do a huge herb harvest because now I have a kitchen to stock with all of my teas and herbs and spices. I'm so excited, but also very stressed, but I'm excited. Okay, let's go. So I'll show you what I have in here. Oregano. I have so much oregano at my disposal outside. I really want to try to make a tincture, maybe basically like the equivalent of an oil of oregano to take like when you're sick. I would love to make something like that. This is yarrow. Not that I'm going to be using this for ingesting. I don't know too much about consuming yarrow, but for making like a poultice if you're bleeding or something, yarrow is always good to have. Rosemary, my favorite herb ever. I think that's good. I have to remind myself this is just not like a professional setup. I don't have a freeze dryer. Nothing's gonna be exactly like how you get it from the store. This is pineapple sage, which I'm really excited about because I had huge success with it this year. It's massive right now. It's like this big because I picked off this batch, which doesn't look like a lot, but once you dry it and kind of break it down, this is what I got. I have this probably again dried in there that I need to put in the jar, and then I have to harvest everything that's left on there. And this will be like the big harvest because I don't really need to leave that much more because it's not going to grow much more because I live in Ontario and it could very well snow like any day now. That's just kind of how it works in Octobers. It's hot one week and then it's snowing the next. Oh, this is lovage, which I thought was quite an interesting one. Again, I've grown this before, not had very much success, and then this year they did great and I was able to dry some, and I wasn't quite sure. If you're not familiar with lovage, it kind of is like sort of like a parsley, sort of like a celery kind of thing, and so I wasn't sure how well it would dry, but it dried super well. Oh my god. Actually, yeah, I think this was the most successful out of all of them we've looked at so far. Lemon balm is another one. I've really struggled to dry this in the past. It's a little bit better. Thyme. You can harvest so much thyme and it boils down to that much, basically. Not boils for real, obviously. Okay, thyme smells good. Catnip. I'm very excited about catnip, either to give to my cats or just to have because it's so good for your own nervous system. Oh, that smells delicious. That one did really well. And I have more of this in the closet and more outside I need to cut also. Bee balm, which looks so pretty with those petals in there. I saved the flower heads and the leaves because I feel like both of them have benefits. Okay, that one is really good too. This is not bad. This is seriously the best I've done with drying. Linden, this is another one I've never harvested before, and I got a big jar because we have a big linden tree in our front yard. And then we have orange balm, which is also kind of interesting. I don't think I got any more of this, just the one harvest. Out of the closet, we have mint. Here, I'm gonna have a lot more mint to harvest today, I think. I believe this is apple mint. I think it's just a different variety that I have growing in my garden. I can't remember specifically what it was, but I'm pretty sure it's apple mint, and this is lovely smelling. Lemon balm, again, I don't think I'll pick more lemon balm. We have lemon balm everywhere. I've just not had much luck with it, but we'll see. More lovage, so that will be lovage done. I don't think I'll harvest any more of that. And then this is lemongrass, which I'm very, very, very excited about. Lemongrass is one of my favorite plants, I guess, to have in a tea blend, and I've never grown it before. So I got 2 plants this year, and this is what I've harvested so far, which doesn't look like a lot, but I think like in terms of cups of tea, that's not so bad. And then I'll definitely be able to get another harvest off of it today. So I'm super, super excited to make some different blends with that. I have some parsley, which I might do another harvest of. I might not, I don't know. I feel like parsley and lovage, it'll be good to have a lot of, because for like soups and things like that, I feel like you can just never go wrong with parsley. And then this is hyssop, which I'm really excited about because I've used before in cooking, but I've never dried it. So I'm really excited about that. I need some like really, really small jars for a lot of these things. Also very exciting, we have more rosemary, which I think I'll get quite a bit more off of the plant today, and then we'll bring the rosemary inside. We kind of like to keep things like that going as long as possible in our like back porch. It's like an indoor porch kind of thing. And then same with lavender, which is what I have here. I'm very, very, very excited. Also, similar to the lemongrass, like I feel like I just love the flavor of a lavender added to a tea blend. I feel like I had one and I can't remember where it was from. It was like a local company maybe, and it was lavender, chamomile, and lemongrass. I think there might have been a couple other things in there, but those were like the main flavors. Maybe a mint was in there, and that was a really good combination. So while I don't have very many lavender flowers on the plants, I think I might still try to do something with the leaves, and if not drinking them in teas and things, I can definitely infuse like a nice oil, like a body oil or something. I actually have a calendula oil that I could strain, and I could add lavender and maybe the rose to it. I don't know. Look at all the pineapple sage, you guys. I'm so excited. This smells so good. If you don't know what pineapple sage is, it smells like pineapple, as you could assume. That's good. Nice. The smell of this lemongrass. Holy crap. That smells so good. Okay, I'm gonna put it in my pocket because I don't want to drop any of this. There we go. Perfect, perfect harvesting jacket. Quickly putting these in rubber bands because I have to head out. So I just want to make sure they're kind of designated as things. There's a lot of foliage going on in this house at all times, so I don't want my mom to come in and be like, what are these? And not know I'm drying them, because I don't need them put in water. Good morning. It is 2 days later. I didn't film anything yesterday. I worked on harvesting more herbs from outside. Some things were a little bit sad because of the drop in temperature. Along with the pineapple sage and the lemongrass that I harvested that you saw, I also got yesterday a bunch more hyssop, some mint, and thyme, and catnip. So lots more things now hanging up in the closet, getting ready to dry, and they won't be ready until after I've already moved, but that's totally fine. If I haven't said this already, I will still have a lot of stuff at this house. We're literally just moving like 10 minutes away and my parents still live here. So I will be keeping this room, my like sewing room, work studio, I'll be keeping this completely intact, and if anything I'll probably be revamping it a bit to serve more as like a workspace and less of a working and living space. So this will stay full of herbs. I also purchased these little spice jars from the dollar store because I thought that these ones were way too big for a lot of things. For like teas and stuff, it's not so bad, things that I have like higher quantities of. But I also did a trip to the bulk barn. My mom very kindly stocked me up on like every spice I would ever need, and we used the like size down from this and filled them like this much because there's only so much like cardamom at least I need. So I wanted to get spice jars that were a little bit smaller, and I got these ones at the dollar store, which are super cute, and they were 4 for $3. So I got 16 of them, and I think that will be a really nice start. I also like that they're not going to take up as much space because they're a little bit slimmer. Okay, I think the time has come, no pun intended, that I need to make a list. I have not made a list, and I've known we're moving for almost 2 weeks now. To be honest, neither of us have done that much, and I haven't made a list, which is actually crazy because lists are what help me to survive. So I think I need to do that today. It's just been an overwhelming sort of concept because this list has to have many genres. So I'm gonna do that. I actually see a little notebook here. I might just dedicate this. This is one that I made, I talked about in a video. I made this with recycled packing paper, which I think is really cute. So I might just start making my list in here. I need a list of things we still have to buy. Household items, yes, we don't actually need that much more. I think kitchen stuff we're like basically done. There's nothing else that we need. There's just a few things that it would be nice to have, and the first time that we go to cook and need that specific thing, it would be kind of annoying to not have it. Like a lemon zester or measuring cups, like those are some of the things on my list of stuff we don't have yet. Not essential to living, but just inconvenient to not have. I also need a list of things to buy in terms of like groceries, non-perishable things that we can get anytime. My mom and I have already started on that quite a bit, but there's some like essentials. It's really hard to take inventory of like, what do I use all the time? What will I notice is not there, especially if you've never had your own kitchen before. And then like household things like cleaning products, toilet paper, stuff like that, I would really like to have ahead of time because I probably want to clean quite a bit when we move in. I also need to make a list of things that I would like to make, both kitchen wise, things like these herbs and other preserves that I'm going to be making that I will talk about in this video, but then also just household things I don't really feel like I need to purchase because we're trying to not make this like an overconsumption type move just because we're moving. We've been shopping a lot of secondhand things. I think like, I want to say over half of the things that we've got for the kitchen so far have been thrifted. And then the things that I can DIY, I'm gonna try to. Also, it's just cuter. So things like cloth napkins. My mom really got me into the habit of using cloth napkins and I love it. It's just something that's so normal to us now. So we're definitely gonna be continuing that in our apartment. And I would like to make them because I have so much scrap cotton fabric and I've already kind of started on that. So I might do a video in this series of just like home DIYs and put all of that in one. Things like dish sponges, I knit some for people last Christmas out of jute, so they're really nice for scrubbing dishes. I have so much jute and cotton twine laying around, so I want to knit some of those so that I don't have to buy the like microplasticky ones. What else? Pot holders, anything fabric basically. I feel very stupid and wasteful buying because I have so much fabric to just make these things with. So I'm gonna make some quilted pot holders. Again, these are not like essential things, they're just nice to have and a little bit cuter to have them be homemade. And then the last category of things that like need to be bought or produced are preserves, like I mentioned. I started making tomato sauce yesterday to can, and I also still want to make an applesauce, but I purchased a whole bunch of windfall apples off of Marketplace, and they all rotted and were super gross because they were already like super bruised and I didn't make it immediately. So I need to go to like a farm stand or something, hopefully today. I was thinking of doing that today, and get like a bushel of apples and make some applesauce. I hope to have things pretty well stocked of just like things from the garden. I've also frozen a lot of things from the garden. I need to harvest some pumpkins and squash and roast those, and then I'm gonna freeze them. So I hope to have like a larder basically stocked of like either homegrown things or things from local farms around here. Again, in keeping with the underconsumption move, I do not want to have to like go spend $500 on a grocery haul the first week we move in. I just think that's unnecessary, especially if I've already been preparing these things throughout the season. Welcome back to another day. It's a few days later. It's actually Thanksgiving here in Canada today. I'm not doing anything particularly festive, but I do want to try to get a few things done this morning before we have dinner plans. I want to really finalize this whole apothecary thing, so I have some labels and I'm going to start labeling the tops of all of these jars. I haven't decided how I want to store these yet, but we'll get to that later. I figure if I label the lids, I can swap those out if I need to change the jar sizes. And I figured while I do this, I would just talk to you about some updates. We got a couch and a mattress, which were the two things that were stressing me out the most. We did that earlier this weekend. So I'm very, very happy. Now, basically everything else is just little extras. And the two most important things to us, we have covered. So very excited about that. There's a few like garden things that I want to try to get done here, and if I have time to do them, I would love to do that this morning. I have some lavender plants that I really need to check on, see how they're doing as it's been a little bit colder recently, and I have two really pretty pots that I want to repot them into. I want to pot them in there, overwinter them inside, and then maybe pop them back into the garden in the spring. We don't have any space to garden where we're going, but now that I know we're staying local to here for the next year at least, I can garden here for a full season next year and just know that. And for the past last year and a little bit the year before, I was unsure if we were going to be moving and where we were going to be moving. And so there's certain things that I didn't want to do in the garden. Like for example, I haven't planted garlic in like for the past 2 falls, I think. And that's one of my favorite things to be able to harvest and have for like a long time in storage. And so finally this year, I know I'm going to be here for an entire year to be able to harvest it. So my mom got me some organic garlic bulbs from a farm down the street, and I want to try to get those in the ground today. Maybe, fingers crossed. Those are the only 2 gardening tasks I have top of mind right now. throw it, don't fall loose. Imagine how pretty this will be with moss. Stunning. Oh my gosh. I just discovered an extra lavender under the pot that was sitting upside down there. I have 3, I thought I had 2.